Well, I'm just going live straight away because, well, basically, I had a bit of a technical issue. How you doing, guys? Wowzers. So, sorry about that. There was a slight delay. So, who we got? We've got Sarah, Zodzoq, Dark, Big PP, Kerfuffles, Vegemites, and that's about it. And I've got Dark in Discord, who I hope can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he can. There we go. So, wow. What can I say? It's sorry I'm a bit late, but it happens. And before we kick off, let's have a see what's in the store, because we always do. So you got Mad Tank containers for 4,000 gold. Ooh, it's a 10% drop chance, to be fair, but it's still a risk. But it's only 4,000 gold.
And it's not 10% for each tank.
Mm-hmm. Well, allegedly it's meant to be. For the Smasher, Gravedigger, Tankenstein or Scavenger, the vehicle drop chance is 10%. So that says to me it's meant to be 10% for each tank. Is what it says to me.
It's not true.
Oh, isn't it? So what's it most likely?
5% for the Scavenger, 2% for Gravedigger and Tankenstein, and 1% for Smasher, I believe.
Oh, really? Oh, that makes a big difference. That does make a big difference. I mean, if it was 10% for the Smasher and stuff, then 4,000 gold isn't really that bad. But if you're saying it's only 1%, I mean that's different. That's a completely different kettle of fish. So I understand that. But I read that as it was the drop chance is 10% regardless. So wow, okay. And you get 4 of them anyway, so it's 1,000 gold for each container. I don't know, up to you. And then you can get 10 there for 10,000. Oh, they've still got the Panzer 4.5. They've still got these down here, the 44 and the T55A. The VK90, that's still not a bad deal, to be honest with you. That's not a bad deal. The camos are in there. If you like camos, that's okay, to be fair. If you like camos, you can get quite a few of them. As I said, T54 still in there. And that's about it. Looking at the bundles, wow, you've got Pyroleum trailer. So you can do that, but it's $10, but I would say wait till tomorrow. We've got Full Moon containers, which is 3 Dracula, 3 Housing, 3 Lycan containers. It's quite expensive though, considering what you can get for the whatever it was, the 4,000 gold a minute ago. You've also got the Lycan and the Housing containers at $10 each, but you do get 3 containers. So same with the Drac. I mean, you do get 3 containers, but I mean the Lycan, all 3 tanks are quite good, to be honest with you. I mean, the Drac is just... What? No sound? How have you got no sound? Should have sound. You have no sound from the game. What about sound from Discord? Dark, can you just say something, mate? No, you should have sound. Yep. No, it's just Kerfuffles who hasn't got sound. I mean, the Draculo's not bad if you like your fast and furious tanks. The Lycan is, well, very heavily armoured, and he's got a good gun. And then you've got the Housing, which, well, it's the Housing. Panzer 58 is still there, BTSV and SU-76I is still there. And, oh, look, you got Spear and Sear. That's the flamethrower attachment. That's a couple of dollars. That's about it. So there's a lot going on for the Halloween, obviously. And you've still got the Vindicator and Predator in the store as well. More importantly, however, you've got this, which if you can get to level 45, you can get the Annihilator, which I did a video on earlier. Now, look, a lot of people have said it's OP. Personally, I don't think it's OP. It's powerful, yes, but it's not OP. And the reason I say it's not OP is because it really does struggle with the penetration. Okay, it will struggle against tier 8s. The simple fact of life. Even with its premium ammunition, it struggles to penetrate the E75 TS, and it does come across them because I've been in it when it comes across them. Tier 7 in tier 6, yeah, it doesn't have a problem. But apart from the ARL 44, it does struggle to pen the Eraser BP 44 and the ARL 44. Strangely enough, it also struggles to pen the Tiger P and the Tiger. So it ain't exactly this broken tank that you're hearing about. The HE is nice, but it's very bad penetration. We'll look at that in a moment. But it's not OP. It's just powerful, and it's got a very long reload. So, but I've heard some people saying it's OP, but that's just my thinking. I don't think it's OP.
What I can add to that is that it's just an usual Halloween tank, which has bad penetration, but overall stats are quite good.
Exactly.
If you compare to Lycan or something,
Yeah.
pen is, I think, 150, 75.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's the same, I think, with the Annihilator.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, reload isn't that long, but it's also not quick.
Correct. And the other thing you gotta remember is the armor profile. The mantlet is rock solid. Yes, it is. However, the rest of the tank isn't. And unless you're face hugging or up close and personal, people can pen you all over the place. They really can. They just have to avoid your mantlet. And you know, it's not OP. It's just a nice tank, and it's a good bit of fun. I mean, the other thing you get in this. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and as it's new, not many people know how to counter it, so it will
Absolutely.
change itself in the state.
Absolutely. Completely. I mean, the other thing is obviously you get the spike, which is basically a strav, which has been sort of updated and looks a bit different. Hello, Robert. Hello, Mike. Hello, Toyota. Hello, Honda. Hello, Milos. Hello, Eliasux. Hello, Neurogamer. Sorry, I didn't say hello to everybody. Hello, Sailing Singularity. I do love that name. So you get the spike as well. I mean, it's an okay tank. It's nothing special. But, and again, there's been a lot of detractors on this. It costs $10 effectively to get one of these Pyroleum trailers. Or you might be able to win one tomorrow in my giveaway. But what are you getting for that? Well, the trailer unlocks 30 stages. Okay, so you get premium, load of boosters as always. Excuse me, you get some attachments, you get credits, you get a tank, you get a container that may have a tank in, you get XP, you get more credits, you get more containers, you get more premium, you get more credits, more XP, more containers, blah, 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 all the way up. So you're getting quite a lot. And then if you just continue playing the game, you get your pyro boosters or whatever they're called. And the chances are you'll get to level 45 with no problems, okay? I mean, I'm at level 37 at the moment, and you'll get to level 45 with no problems. Which means for $10, you're getting a shitload of credits, a load of premium, a load of boosters, 3 crates automatically, realistically, that you may win a tank in, and you get 2 tanks. It's not bad, really. But it's up to you how you spend your money. I would say don't spend it yet. Wait till tomorrow. That way you may be able to win one of these Pyroleum containers.
Fugit, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, mate?
Alive, mostly retired in terms of all tank bits.
Oh, well, that's sad to hear, but hey.
No, like retired, like this year I cannot play much more often than usual. Like it's just marking on some events. And yeah, until I finish this annoying school and enrolling in university.
Of course.
Cannot play much, and also I managed to screw up my phone, so yeah.
And of course, the other thing we've got is burning games. Now, again, I've heard a lot of disquiet about this, okay? Now, I did 3 streams yesterday, one on Asia, one on EU, and one on NA. And all I did was play burning games. And to be honest with you, I like this game, this game mode. And there's a reason why I like it. And the reason is, it actually forces you to play as a team, which is something that Blitz really, really, really struggles with. Teamwork. And this game forces this mode forces teamwork. It really does, because you've got to repair your teammates. Simple as that. And you can't go out doing what you want on your Todd, because you'll just die. Simple. And I appreciate that, and I like that, and I'm glad Wargaming have brought something in that kind of addresses that. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, I get that, but I like it for that reason. Plus you can grind, get a lot of credits and a lot of XP, to be fair.
Yeah, like the mode has its benefits, but still, I'd much rather see some single player game modes, because keep in mind, most 99% of content of World of Tanks Blitz is just multiplayer.
Well, yeah, no, I get that, but you have to look at it this way. The game mode is it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect your stats, doesn't affect your win rate, blah blah blah. Okay. All it does is if you lose credits. If you win, you get credits, etc., etc. Now, how do you try and get your player base to work as a team? How do you install into your player base the concept of teamwork realistically? You might as well do it with an event like this. You know, I mean, it installs into you. It forces you to play as a team. Because if you don't play as a team, you'll lose. It's as simple as that.
But yeah, and then on the other side, you have tournaments, which are you get your buddies, and then you just work out the strat.
But that's tournaments. That's a completely different thing. And a lot of players don't play tournaments, to be fair.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody does play encounter, random, sorry, and a lot of people do play ratings. And a lot of the time, in fairness, people don't play as a team. They don't. They play as an individual. You know, how many times have you rolled out in a random game and everybody said, let's go to A, and then there's always one guy who troops off to C on his own?
Yeah, quite often. But still.
So this mode is forcing you to do something different, which I agree with.
Yeah, but no, this mode, what I see, encourages more of big death stacks.
Do what?
One, like 2 big death stacks. You have few frontliners that tank and shoot others, while you have like TDs or mediums or light tanks behind healing. That's
but it's still, however, it still requires teamwork.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm sometimes, for me at least, I sometimes get bored of big death stacks and just get to a certain position where I can just farm them while they're moving to position. But in this mode, you just simply need to be in a big death stack or you die. Simple.
No, I don't understand. When you say big death stack, what's that?
The entire team goes in a single lane and then just mash.
Well, it's not been my experience of this, to be fair. I mean, I've tuned in this a lot, and we haven't gone generally with the team. The team generally splits. But as long as you keep an eye out for each other, and as long as you are repairing your teammate and your teammate's repairing you, then you know it is possible to be done. What I would say about this game mode, however, is, and I said it in the video that I've just released, if you don't take a fast reloading tank or a high DPM tank, then you will struggle, because
not really. That's okay. Cool.
Well, it depends when you say not really. Let's say we'll put you in a Death Star with your 17-second reload. In your Death Star, what are you going to do? Are you going to heal your mate, or are you going to shoot the enemy?
Heal, because you're much more probable of hitting your teammates than enemy.
But then you've got to wait another 17 seconds. That's the thing. So, you know, I found that rolling out in the high DPM tanks, you can go around healing everybody left, right and centre. It's the same with, I mean, I'm not saying don't take a TD. I know people who've taken the waffle tractor and the grill, but to be fair, they don't have excessively long reloads. I mean, I went out yesterday in a 263. In fact, we went out in a tune of 263s. And we had a great time because the reload on that is mad. And we were just able to smack everything with impunity, including each other, to put ourselves back in. Now, I could have gone out with a Death Star, but one shot every 17 seconds. And don't forget, you're losing HP every 20 seconds. So
Yeah. But still, if you manage to knock out a tank, that's still a bigger impact than you heal.
well, yeah, but that's thinking linear again.
To be fair, in this game mode, I much more prefer playing medium tank and going past medium tank and then just go
Exactly,
around.
exactly.
That's the fun.
That's the thing. Someone's saying there, Nick Ryan, I like playing burning games with my Action X. Absolutely, that is a tank to play burning games in. Great reload, you know, it's fast, it's all that sort of stuff, and those are the sort of tanks you want for this game mode. I think those type of tanks. You know, I played yesterday mainly with the British Lights, to be fair. Although when I was on NA, I didn't have any British Lights, so I had to use heavy tanks, which was pretty difficult. So I had to take a Chrysler K in the end, because that was the best heavy I had that didn't have an excessively long reload. But I played with the British Lights, I played with the VK, I played a Batchat, and we had a great time. And, you know, healing people and running around, doing all that sort of stuff, and we won. When you were playing as a team, generally you win the game. It's when we weren't playing as a team that we lost.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Because generally, in the main games, like random and ratings, if you don't play as a team, you generally lose. So being forced to play as a team, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, but still, sometimes the individuals can make a bigger impact than your teammate just sitting there in a big blob.
I'm not saying I'm not saying sit at the back. I mean, that's the thing, and this is what a lot of people miss about this game. I mean, you've got 4 different types of tanks, and they all do a different job, and they all have a different role on the battlefield. And within the 4 classes, you have tanks that are quick, tanks that are slow, tanks that have got big DPM, tanks that haven't, blah, blah, blah. And they all perform differently on the battlefield. And, you know, as much as I'd love to say it's all about individual effort, it's not. It's a team game at the end of the day. That's why there are 7 of you. If you happen to do well individually, then good for you. But how many times, seriously, have you sat there and and I've seen this happen, guys, where you've got somebody sat at the back waiting for at least 3 or 4 tanks to be on low hit points, then come around and kill and takes all the kills. How many times have you done that? And how many times does that annoy you?
Yeah, if you're like going for 7 kills, but if you really want 7 kills, you go to lower tiers, where you can just seal club. But still, I don't care. If like the whole match I managed to get 6 kills, and then even after I type don't kill him, they kill him, then I get pissed, of course.
But this is the thing. I mean, what's the idea of the game? Is the idea of the game to get 7 kills or to win? I mean, for me, it's pretty straightforward. The idea is to win.
Fair.
If I get big damage, if I get a mastery, if I get 7 kills, if I get 6 kills, it's a bonus. The idea is to win.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it, anyway.
I see the win as a bonus. I just prefer to play bomb rush with my medium, kill an individual, then run to the different section and farm. But yeah,
Well, that's where we differ, because I see it as it's a game. It's a game, and like all games, you're there to win. You're not there to get the world record. If it happens, bonus, and well done. But the primary aim is to win the battle, at least in my book. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody's got a different view to me. But I thought that was the idea of any game or any type of sport or game is to win. Is it not?
To be fair, I much more prefer having a good time over winning and having crazy stats. but still.
Oh, if I lose, I still have a good time. Don't get me wrong, but I still think the aim of the game is winning, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, if it's just winning, I can just spam then lower tiers and haha, I have a
No, 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 no.
I,
You're missing my point. It's not just winning. I mean, you've got to have the challenge. I mean, anybody can go and spam the lower tiers. The challenge is winning by using your skills and ability. So
yeah,
if
but
if you are, I don't know, you've got 40,000 battles and you're 65% win rate player and you choose to only roll out in tier 2, then more for you. But if you're a 45% win rate player and you choose to roll out in tier 10, and you're learning the strategy of the game, how to play the game, etc., and you actively contribute to winning, that's a good thing, surely. That's the aim of the game, is it not?
I'm not. To be fair, victory that's just a bonus, but still,
Okay.
I prefer having good time, having nice rolls, or playing with team and coordinate. But still, why win? Why have this pressure that you should win
It's not
when it
pressure.
doesn't
It's.
matter?
I'm sure. I don't
For
think it's
example,
pressure.
if it is,
I
if
think
it's
it's just a
for
question of it's a game, and the main point of any game is to win it.
not really,
Tell me a game where the point is to lose.
Skyrim, or is it the other? No, Death Souls. You need to lose too many times to be able to win.
I'm being serious. I mean, I don't know any game where the idea is to lose. I mean, there are games where the principle is to lose. Like I can't remember what the game is called now, but generally speaking, the idea of any game is to win. Especially on video games, the idea is to win. Surely, but novel. And that's why I think burning games is a good thing, because I think it's teaching people to play as a team, which is not a bad thing.
I still prefer more solo, but still,
That's a personal choice, I think.
I have nothing against free game modes where you do not ruin your stats and stuff. I get extra cash.
Okay.
I was never against it,
I would
but to
say
be fair, I still think it's kind of mad games, but remove the buffs, the special abilities, and get the extra HP. And just like playing the game while bleeding out. I'm not a particular fan, but still, nice game mode.
Fair enough.
Appreciate what they're trying to do.
What about you, Dark? You were going to say something.
I was going to say it's a good concept, but the community itself isn't suitable for such a game mode. There's not many people know
I don't disagree with.
because people don't really know how to team play. Well, some don't know.
Oh,
But-
Sarah, heartbreak.
So it makes the game mode difficult to play in solo because people just ignore you to heal or they just go for damage.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's an alien concept, I think, to the game, to the community of Blitz, because it forces teamwork, it forces team play, and unless you're in a clan that does a lot of tournaments, then unfortunately, I would say a majority of the player base, I wouldn't say all the player base, but majority of the player base, it's an alien concept to play as a team, to be honest. And that you will find that if you can't play as a team in this game mode, then you will lose. Simple as. Because you're losing hit points all the time. All the time. Regardless of how many tanks you kill, you'll lose hit points. You'll gain hit points back, but every 20 seconds you'll get taken away again. Bump, bump, bump. And, my experience is every time I've rolled out in burning games, if we don't play as a team but 7 individuals, then we lose. Simple. Simple.
Yeah, I still much more prefer more single player or smaller team against team games, because then if I really want to win, then I know that I have much more control. But when there are more people, more resources, sometimes, yeah, it's a bit worse, as simply you do not have that much of an impact. So maybe that's the main issue for me, why I'm not that excited about this game mode.
No, and like I said, a lot of people aren't excited about this game mode. A lot of people have turned around and said, "Yeah, it's not the best," because probably for the same reasons that you're saying. It doesn't reward you per se for certain things. It rewards you for playing as a team.
Yeah.
And PT Blitz is saying here, that's why healing aspect is so important. Absolutely, and that's the point I'm trying to make. And you know, if you don't play as a team, then the chances are you will lose. So I can understand why certain players don't like it, why certain people don't like it, but I actually think it's a good thing. I really do. But I also agree with Dark. I don't think the community is quite ready for it because they're not ready for teamwork unless they play Clan Wars a lot or do a lot of tournaments where again you have to play as a team. So it's an interesting one though. It is an interesting one.
Yeah. Another absurd thing. How?
Say again.
Now, nothing.
Hey, Spicy. Another what? Sorry, I missed that.
No, I was yawning.
Oh, you were yawning. Oh, okay. I mean, Wild One's help is here, but he's not saying anything, so I don't know what he's going on. He's got his new mic as well. So.
That's not our boy. We once knew that correct voice.
No, but he's here, but he's just not talking. He's muted. Bless him. Probably just listening. Bless. But I mean, my take from this Halloween event, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, somebody said in the chat earlier, oh yeah, but to get the Annihilator, you've got to buy the Perolium trailer. Yeah, that's true. You have $10. But I'll tell you what, you're getting a tank that can actually smash a Smasher. And you won't get a Smasher for $10 unless you're very lucky and get it dropping a crate. You know, so it depends on which way you look at it. You're getting 2 tanks, a shed load of credits, and all other bits and bobs for $10. It's not... Is it really such a bad deal, to be honest with you? I don't think it is.
People are raging a bit because Wargaming turned the Halloween event kinda into a battle pass, and like people want the separate battle pass from the, how is it called, the Halloween event. So I think that's the main thing and rage about, because yes, you can get the spike and some other rewards like few crates, but those crates are purposely put there to limit the amount of players that get a tank.
Well, I don't know. But I mean, let's just tackle that point. I mean, all the other Halloween events, to be honest with you, take the one where you got the Drac and the housing. You couldn't get both tanks for free, by the way.
You could get one.
You could get one.
Tier 7, a very decent, borderline OP tank.
No, you had to work hard to get it, to be fair. If you wanted it for free, you had to work hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to get, not for free.
Yeah.
Not for free. And a lot of people forget this. When you get event tanks, no matter what the event is, the idea isn't for you to win a tank gratis. The idea is, if you get to win the tank for free, then well done you. But the idea is to get to a point where you get the tank next to nothing. You know, a bit of gold.
Discount.
Yeah, a massive discount on the gold. That's the idea. Now, what they've done here is, let's say you don't want to buy the Perolium trailer, which is your choice. You don't need to buy it. Then you'll get a tier 7 tank for free, realistically.
You get the
tier 5 for free, realistically. You'll get it for free.
But yeah, who is excited about playing a reskin tier 5?
But that's a different argument. Because don't forget the scavenger is tier 5.
Yes, but keep in mind, the 2 years ago, Scavenger Grave Digger on Scavenger Grave Digger event, I think that year they did it great by giving us 2 tanks optional for us to grind the Tankenstein.
But
and
again, you could not
you
get
could
the
grind on
you
if
couldn't get both of them.
Yes, but if you and I remember that I think the Grave Digger for the past 3 years I played was one of the hardest events I ever needed to grind.
Yes, it is.
I don't know why, but still, it was that concept was great. If you had time, managed to organize school and stuff and family and all that life stuff, and get the time to grind and manage to grind the tank, that's good. And if you wanted to grind even more, you can get even bigger discount for the Tankenstein. For me, that was a
there you go, discount. You're not getting it for free, mate. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. And here, you're spending $10, and a lot of people complained, as you said, but you're not just getting a tank for $10. You're getting a lot of things around it as well. You're getting a lot of credits. You're getting a lot of premium and all that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling everybody to go out and buy the bloody thing. I mean, it's up to you how you spend your money. All I'm saying is, it's not such a bad deal, realistically. It really isn't.
Yeah, it isn't if you're willing to spend like $10, but I think the problem bigger here is not only because people are greedy and want new stuff, but because you outright know that you cannot get and have any chance of getting the main prize of the event, which I think is the main problem and the source of rage.
But I don't understand why there's a source of rage. I don't. I just don't. Because if they would have did it a different way, you would have spent almost the equivalent amount in gold. Believe me, you would have. $10, you wouldn't have got the tank for free. You would have still spent $10.
But, like, have you waited for a second and asked why haven't they given out the option gold for Pyrolium, but only kept it in cash?
Because they have to. Because they have to make money. They have to make money still. They're a business. At the end of the day,
business.
I mean, no business. With the greatest respect, for any business, no business gives anything away for free. No business. What? Seriously. Seriously.
I know that, but still, they could have made the. If you want to buy it for gold, make it like 10,000, 12,000.
And then everybody would have gone off their rocks. Everybody gone ballistic. 12,000 for a tier 7. Why do I want to spend 12,000 on a tier 7? They would have gone mad. The community would have been up in arms. Absolutely bad.
Or either you can put it as, but still, don't you remember every single new tank they release? It's about 50% to 100% more expensive. So it's expected. If it's a new shiny tank, they're obviously going to overprice to squeeze out the money. Because if you remember, well,
I'll tell you what. Let's test that theory. Let's test that theory. So here it is. Oh, there's the Annihilator. If I sell this, I will get 1,119,896 credits. Okay.
But it's a premium. Keep in mind, it's not a collector like Smasher.
This is what I'm trying to explain. So, I get quite a lot of credits back there because they're not going to give me gold because it didn't cost me gold to get. So I get a lot of credits back if I sell that. Now that's tier 7. Let's take another tier 7. Let's take the Drac. The Drac I get the same amount. The same. So, you know, and how much... Just out of interest, how much is 1,000,000 credits?
For me, it's about 1 hour and 30 minutes of grinding in game if I use premium time.
So I get 2.7. I get 2,750 gold back. Now, if I look at 2,750 gold 2,750 gold, realistically, but you know I get some extra gold here. Actually, that's going to cost me close to $10. So I'm not actually losing out money-wise. Not really.
Remember, it's far easier to grind credits. But still, I can agree. Sometimes the prices of the tanks in the Tech 3 are kind of high and a bit tedious with the amount of tier 10s and equipment.
Yeah, but that's tier 10. We're talking about tier 7 here.
But
We're
tier
talking
7,
about you're talking about you're given a battle pass, which you can it's up to you. You don't have to buy it. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. That's going to cost you $10. For that $10, you have the chance of getting 2 tanks, a tier 5 and a tier 7, and a shed load of credits as well. I mean, I haven't worked out how much all the credits are, but there's a lot of credits in there. There's what, 50,000 there. There's 150,000. There's 300,000. There's 500,000. 500,000. If I wanted to, there's almost 1 million credits. I'm getting my money's worth in real terms. I'm not being hard done by. I am getting my money's worth. Now, Wargaming could have made this a lot harder. They could have put they could have made the credits a lot less attractive, and they could have put the bloody tank at level 60, to be fair. But they didn't. They put it at level 45, which is achievable if you spend your $10. I don't see why this is such a bad thing, unless of course everybody expected to get the tank for free. Then of course it's a bad thing. Of course it is, because you're not going to get it for free. You've got to pay. You've got to pay for it.
I know that.
But I don't see how it is a bad thing.
It's really just an expectation thing, though.
Say again, mate.
It's just an expectation thing, though. To be honest,
There is an
everything in
expectation.
this game is just expectations.
Yeah.
You expect your teammates to do good, they do bad, you gotta do bad. You gotta feel bad. If you don't expect anything, and they do bad, you won't feel bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just everything really. It's just a matter of expectation and relative to expectation.
Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. Yes. I totally agree. It's all about managing expectation as well, as you say. Because, you know, I think sometimes we as the community, we expect every time an event comes around that we're going to get a free tank or a load of free stuff thrown at us by Wargaming. And they're never going to do that. They're going to give us the opportunity to win stuff, but they're never going to throw stuff at us for free. And no business does that. And it's, you know, it's like I did a video the other day, because following last week's coffee chat, where, you know, people are still bemoaning MM. Well, is it really the MM that's the problem? Or is it just our expectation? Do we think that we're better than we actually are? And I think there's a lot of it in that.
Multiple, but you need to keep in mind there are multiple factors. But if an experienced player is trying his best, doing all the possible strats to win, and still his team does not support or last long enough, of course.
Well, that's the expectation thing.
That's an expectation.
Or are you supposed to expect your team to do good, though? That's the question. Because are you gonna expect anything from a random algorithm
I just
to get you
expect
anything?
for my team to
Okay,
survive,
so let's
so I
put this
can kill
okay. So random matchmaking is powered by random algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but why is an average player expecting you're getting good teammates every game? Let's look at it the other way. Let's look at loot boxes. It's also powered by random algorithm. Why is everybody at the same time still expecting them getting something from the crates?
Mm-hmm. Well, this would be my argument. I mean, the loot boxes are, you know, it's a look at the draw. You may or you may not get them. I hate loot boxes personally, because there's no guarantee you are going to get a tank. No guarantee at all. And
that's like,
and every time I buy a loot box, subconsciously I'm saying, oh, I'm going to win a tank. I never do.
I remember that.
and that's exactly how that's how matchmaking algorithm works. Every time you press the hard button, the battle button, you think that you'll get good players in your team, but not really. It doesn't guarantee it at all. So
Yes.
I'm not sure where players are getting the expectation from. Like you gotta get good players every game.
Well, that's another point I wanted to raise because, I mean, ever since that coffee chat, I've been really thinking about this, and I said in the video I did, there is this game, strictly speaking, regardless of what we all think, is actually not elitist, and there is nowhere, and I mean nowhere, that says that you must have a particular ability, or you must come from a particular place, or you must have, you must be able-bodied, or blah, 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 in order to play this game. Anybody can play this game. Anybody. And that means, if you one of the problems I've got, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a human, I scream Muppets at people as well. But I generally don't abuse them in chat and stuff, but I do scream at them, obviously. But I don't know who the guy is on the other end. I mean, the guy may be struggling with, I don't know, a disability of some description, and he plays the game to alleviate that issue. And it gives him joy and excitement and a bit of relief. Who are we to say he can't play just because he's got what we consider to be a rubbish win rate? I don't think that's fair. And, I don't know if the other person at the end of the phone is, and I got I got a bit of flack, but it was done jokingly, is somebody of what somebody said, advanced age, whose reactions are a lot slower than mine or yours or a guy in his teens or 20s, and his eyesight is going or whatever. Again, he may play the game because it gives him relief from whatever is going on in his day, and it gives him fun. It puts a smile on his face, and surely that's the aim of the game, isn't it? To have fun and to escape for a little bit. And I think sometimes we put too much expectation on saying, "Oh, I've got a team of noobs again." What does it matter? If you're good enough, it shouldn't matter. You'll still do your damage. You may not win, but there's nowhere that it guarantees that you're going to win all your games all the time. But if you're good enough, you'll still do the damage, you'll still kill the tanks, and you'll still do the best you can. But that's what you can ask for.
Well, talking about matchmaking, that's a philosophy that I always use, that a thing that I always remember is that assume that your team is bad, and then try to work with that kind of team, and then try to kind of make as much influence as possible. And then that includes also asking the team to go where, shooting what targets. Sometimes I have to spam that command button, but then every bit of influence would just help. I mean, I saw much worse matchmaking in other games. World of Tanks Splits, the matchmaking is fine. I mean, some of the multiplayer, the matchmaking can be absolutely bad. Absolutely abhorrent.
The reason why players put such an expectation in matchmaking to deliver, because I think partly is because there's never a competitive matchmaking in Blitz to begin with. And so that means it does not appeal. The game does not appeal too good to the competitive community. So, for example, you're now sitting here watching tournaments that use win rate seeding, and then you rely and that's why. And if you're trying to use results of random matchmaking as a parameter for competitiveness, then obviously it's gonna go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to get to a point where they move towards like a league type structure, but it's a long way off.
A long way. I don't know if they're going to do that.
No,
say.
That's what I mean.
But they at least would change
If
the win
they
rates.
want it for the competitive longevity, they should do it.
Yes.
But I don't think they will do it.
No, I don't think they will. But I mean, this bloody camera. Stop it. It really struggles to focus. I don't know why at the moment. But they need to do something along those lines, because you're right. I mean, at the moment there's only one game mode that accounts for win rate, and that is random. Now, I've just got my new EU press account, okay? And I rolled out in 2 games on random mode, and I've won both of them. So I've got 100% win rate. I can now go out and play as many games as I want rating, and it won't affect my win rate at all. And then I can join a clan and make my win rate an advantage for that clan. That's not right, is it? Really?
But didn't we talk that about the solutions how to fix?
Absolutely, we did. But what I was saying earlier is, and what Maddox is saying, and I totally agree with him. We, as the community, we put the expectations into the game. The game doesn't have the expectations there already. We choose to add them. We choose to say that the MM is against us, but we don't say that when we win. When we get put into a team where we can see there's a load of good Unicum players, we don't sit there going, oh, bloody MM, it's so bad. We go, we might win this one. But when we're put into a team where, you know, excuse me, it's a load of 40%ers, we bemoan it. But why should we? I mean, the 40%ers have every right to play the game as the 50%ers, the 60 and the 70%ers. They do. They have every right to play. We may not agree with their game style. We may not agree with a lot of things that they bring to the table. But there's nothing to exclude them from the game. And to exclude them, I think, would be wrong. Don't get me wrong, however. I think that allowing people with a couple of battles to jump into a tier 10 isn't right. But that's a different argument. I'm not talking that. I'm talking about, at the end of the day, if somebody's got a 40% win rate and they've grinded their tanks and that is their skill level, they should not be precluded from entering any battle, in my opinion. They shouldn't. It shouldn't be done.
Yeah, like, but keep in mind, why do also people have expectations? Like, if you grind it,
Well,
if
they have
you're, like,
expectation
start the
because
game-
there's nothing. There's no. Well, how should I put
If
it?
I
They have expectation because they want to play competitive, but there's no such a competitive option for them. To begin with.
well,
Well,
like,
there's meant to be, but it doesn't work. And we know ratings is beset with problems at the moment.
Yep.
And it is beset with issues. And that is meant to be the competitive type of gaming. But it's not there. But it's not there.
Actually, the ratings is how much time you can spend. From what I've heard from work. Okay, my internet's lagging.
I don't know. Maybe.
And if they could sort ratings out, and if ratings could do what it was intended to do, then, I mean, don't get me wrong, once you get past 4,500 ratings, it does settle down. I believe.
No,
Is-
but it still doesn't change how you can spam to get higher rating.
There you go. It still doesn't change certain facts.
Oh,
But if it hasn't been embraced, okay? So because ratings hasn't been embraced by the community as such, then it doesn't work as intended. And the intention is to be win rate, skill based MM. That's the intention.
Like there's two major issues. Like there's three major issues why ratings is not the mainstream. First, it resets every month, so why are you playing for rating?
Yeah.
Second, it matches skill level differently, so you can have one player that plays badly and it just breaks the entire game. And three, it's biased to the point that you always get a net positive rating proportional to the amount of battles you play. That's how I put it.
but
and-
yeah,
And that coupled by because of these three reasons, the community doesn't really like to play in it. So that you're not getting that mainstream proper view of a rating. Of a player rating.
No, you're
So-
not.
Yeah, I believe for rating, talking about the net positive gain, I do hope that Morgan won't revert back to the original rating system because however you do, like how well or how bad you do, then you gain or lose the same amount rating. I don't want to go back to
what
that.
I mean by net positive is that if you lose,
Yeah, I know.
If you lose, you have a chance to get positive, but if you
Yeah,
win, you're certainly guaranteed to get positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I Yeah, so I think for winning, if you don't do anything, if you do very little, then I think there should be a deduction. And
Well, that's what I'd
And
like
how
to
they
see.
calculate,
Yes.
and then how they calculate that deduction or even addition should also be there should be a formula you can trace for.
No, I agree.
And that's why. And remember, and Wild Ones, you remember the last time I told you about impact rating for tournaments?
oh,
That's
yeah,
where we
yeah.
can use this. That's where we can use this. If your impact is below a certain threshold, you deduct your ratings get deducted. If your impact is above a certain threshold, your rating goes up. So you so you can account for spotting, damage block, all the shits
Yeah,
and giggles that you want to put in there. But like what I'm saying is that there could be a rating that you can develop. Like there could be a system that a community can come up with, and Wargaming said like, oh
And
look at
that's-
this, and it's like there's actually a good one, and we can try work out what we can do.
And that's if the thing you're talking about, that's basically the EXP that you earn. The
No,
base XP you're
not
earning
exactly.
Nope.
because
Not-
it's I
Base
understand
XP
it's not
Base
really,
XP does not
but still.
Base XP does not include damage blocked.
Correct.
It does not include your performance. So what I really want from an impact rating is more like how you're doing compared to your team. Like what I want to include in this rating, like if I want to create such rating that includes something like your ability to block damage, use your armor effectively, your ability to pen shots. That's somewhat including your ability to aim, your ability to trade tanks with your teammates, play as a team, especially. So the rating would have something like how many tanks you have helped trade it out for your teammate. So if your tank, if you got a teammate that dies, if you trade him out, then you get a positive rating, like something like that. Just an example, but like I want to create a rating that you can account for to calculate a player's impact in a game.
And I
Not
agree.
how skilled he is, not how skilled he is, but more just like the impact that he generated in that game.
And I agree with
Yeah,
that.
like,
And I
for
totally
example-
agree with if somebody on the I mean, one of the things I do hate about ratings, and you touched on it earlier, is I can sit and camp at the back, and as long as my team wins for me, I will get ratings points, positive points. Don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
In real terms. And I could run, and it's happened to me. I can run around doing lots of things and be on the losing team, and I can get, say, 3 or 4 or 5. Well, like the other day, I got 20 points for losing because I did a lot of stuff in the game. And the guy who did, I don't know, I think he did 50 damage on the enemy team. He got 25 points. So he got 5 points more than me. Which seems slightly unfair because he only got those points because his team won, not because of his involvement or activity or contribution. And that I do think needs to be looked at. You're right, because that's one of the things that galls a lot of people about gaming.
Yeah, so like I just want to create such a rating. Like the original idea I came up is from another game that they use ratings to they use a certain formula to measure a player's impact in the game in a competitive game. And I sort of want to bring this concept to Blitz, so I like had this idea for a while, but I never had the formula or the actual shit to deal with it. Like, but that's what I want.
That would be hard. You know
No, actually, no. What I want is it will be measured if you. So the data you get for the formula should be available by replay.
Yeah,
So
and
whatever is shown in a replay should be able to calculate it will convert it into a formula, into the data for a formula. That's why I'm hoping to do.
yeah. It will be difficult to get the right algorithm though, because the first time I did it with the other purpose, which you all know about Mapbox, then yeah, finding the right algorithm takes time, and if I have time, and I will need a really big tweak on that, and maybe there is something wrong with the calculation as well.
Well, especially for the math side, it's gonna be very hard for sure. Yes.
Very
You're
hard.
gonna do a lot of data calibration and shit. But what we want is more like an impact, more like a rough estimate of an impact, not just how good. It shouldn't be like a WN8. WN8 does not measure skill, right?
No, correct.
What,
It doesn't.
what we want here is more like for each individual game, as an individual in this game, how much impact have you generated as a player?
Wait, so what is actually WNA measuring then?
It's measuring how you play the
measures-
tank. How you play the tank.
So-
But
So
not.
what WN
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
what measure is your win rate, your damage, your caps, your I think is your damage ratio and your spotting. All these 5 parameters
compared to other-
is measured against the median.
Correct. But it doesn't look it looks at how you play the tank basically, and it takes into account lots of things. I mean, in fact, I can tell you exactly what it takes into account because I've got it here.
No, it only takes into account damage, win rate, spotting, caps, and I think cap defense, and I think something
Kill.
else that I forgot.
Kills per battle?
Yeah, kills per battle. I think that
Kills
was
per
it,
battle, yeah. It does damage
But-
ratio, kill death ratio. Sorry, it does damage per battle, kills per battle, spots, hits per battle, and cap points. You're right, and caps and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but that doesn't count as skill at all, really.
No, it's not. It's how you play the tank. It's not how skilled you are. It's how you
Yeah.
play the tank.
The rating system is basically suggesting you to play as aggressive, going for kills, spots, damage as aggressive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's ignoring the most important aspect that you would find in team play.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's why I get a lot of WNA to my account.
Oh my god.
Yeah, basically you have some tanks that you can just farm WNA. For example, T20. Just play that thing, and
But
you'll
that,
be
but that
an
shouldn't
eight,
be
you'll
that shouldn't be a case, right? If you have a rating system that can take into account also spotting damage, assisting damage,
Mm-hmm.
module damage even. Hell, you can do a lot of things with it, right? The amount of damage you
Absolutely.
blow, amount of shots you bounce, the amount of damage you did to each individual tanks. Like that, all of that data can be tracked from the replays. So, if you're able to sort of make a rating for each, and I'm pretty sure most of these things that I just said does not get included to EXP. So no, that's not how it works. And even if it does, I'm pretty sure how wargaming does it. It's a bit like it does not really measure your true impact in the game. I think, even if that's
yeah,
how it works.
because remember your
Because
EXP, you can
EXP
just
scales
get
a
them
lot with kills.
yeah, like kills
The more
and
kills
damage.
you get, the more EXP you get. So that doesn't really scale correctly in terms of impact. Yes, a kill can be a big impact, but not at the same time not really. So you really have to look after like how you average that out. So it could be true. Actually, and even when we touch on that topic, the XP you earn is not proportional to the ratings you earn. I think, from my experience. So that even if
think
XP was working as intended, I'm pretty sure the rating does not the rating still doesn't scale correctly according to that. Because I'm pretty sure I've got aces in rating before, but I'm still earning less rating than some players in my team. That does not get an ace. So I've definitely experienced something that tells me it does not scale according to your EXP, but it could be otherwise. I could be wrong.
Hang on a minute. I did rib, yes. And I am going to comment to that. I just haven't got round to it. But I'll answer you now, actually. You're right about the average damage in my other tier 7s. The reason why I didn't count that, to be perfectly honest with you, is because most of the games that are recorded in Blitz Stars for me and the Annie were prior to its release. So I came across a lot of players who obviously hadn't seen the tank, didn't know how to combat the tank, which allowed me to be super, super aggressive in it. The reason I say it's not just my view, and obviously, I mean, you play the game a lot better than I do. Well, the reason I say it's not OP, I say it's powerful, and it is powerful, but it really does struggle at tier 8. I found it really struggles to pen the tier 8 heavies, and you know, if you play it badly, then you really can get punished. But flip side to that, it does hold, and it can brawl and hold very well against a smasher, which did surprise me. But yeah, that's the only reason I didn't throw that into the mix, is because I was literally playing it to get used to it for the wargaming stream. So I had it before a lot of people had even seen the tank, etc., etc. People had tested it, of course. So I just took that as an anomaly, because I was coming up against people who just weren't used to it, and therefore didn't know how to counter it. I've played it since it's been released, but only in burning games, and obviously you can't really compare that. But yeah, I am going to answer. I have seen your comment, and I am going to answer it in full, mate. Seriously. So no, it's a good comment, and it's a valid one. To be fair, it is a valid one, and it does deserve a bit more explanation on my part. I agree with that. I hope Rib heard that and not just he hasn't disappeared.
The Annihilator.
Ah, there you go. Rib did it.
Or maybe the Annihilator isn't such of a threat.
But Rib, is it because of the player or because of the tank? Because when I was speaking, just still on the Annie, I was speaking to Darth Antonius and Ribble, and you know, one of the things, it was quite interesting because they both said to me that it's a mix. They've had mixed bad comments from the testers. Some saying that it's really bad, and some saying it's really OP. And
AMX.
no, the Annihilator. And when I played it, yeah, the gun is powerful. It really is powerful. I mean, you're knocking out 600 plus on your standard AP if you manage to get all three to pen, or about 575 on your APCR if you get it to pen. But on the same token, it is slow, and except the gun mantle the armor is pretty poor, and the penetration is pretty poor, especially against tier 8s. I mean, tier 8 it really struggles. But I get your point. But is it the tank or is that the players? Because I don't know.
It's more of a players, because the tank is...
Okay, Rib. That's a fair point then. That is a fair point, Rib.
I still think the tank is better in close range, but if you keep some distance, I think it suffers the same problem as the Helsing at, was it 800 meters? The second shield basically disappears.
Nah, it's both shells are like a 300 or even 400 meters range.
Yeah, I think that the tank has the same problem, and also you cannot snipe with it. Yes, you can get a shell, but the two shells, only if you're lucky, will hit the target because dispersion. But because most people basically get into close quarters, I can already see why it's OP. But I still consider Smasher a bigger problem over the Annihilator, but it's on a personal note and opinion.
When I look at these things, I mean, I try and look at it from an average player's viewpoint, and Rib makes a really good point there, to be fair, where he's saying that they're not doing the kind of damage in tier 7, and it's a very good point that he makes, and that cannot be discounted. I get that. I'm not a super duper player. I mean, you guys know that. I'm pretty average in what I do. And again, Rib is right. I'm not doing that sort of damage with my other tier 7s, to be fair. But as I said, I didn't really count it because I was playing it before its actual release, and I was being super aggressive. So yeah, it's a bit different for me in that respect. But yeah, I mean, my DPM on it is just over 2,000 at the moment, damage per battle. after 50 odd games with a 76% win rate. Whereas
Because
the closest I get in tier 7 to that is in the Smasher at 1600. So.
But keep in mind, still players haven't really gotten a hang how to fight it.
No, I get that, but Rib's
player.
point is correct. I mean, how can I say it's not OP when I'm doing 2000 average damage in it, which is the best of all my tier 7s, with the closest I'm getting is either the Smasher or the T25. I mean, I'm doing 1600 in the T25, and I'm doing on average 1600 in the Smasher. So Rib's point is correct, basically. However, when I played it as an average player, from my average player perspective, I did find that a lot of people, I mean the Lupus as well, I've got 1600 in. I didn't think it was what we would call OP. But, you know, the guys like Rib, who know the game a lot better than I do, etc., etc., they would consider it OP. Of course they would. And he's right when he says, you know, he thinks it's not good for the game. And to a lot of respects, he is correct in that viewpoint. But I'm looking at it from a different angle, that's all. That's not to say he's wrong, I'm right. It's not to say I'm right, he's wrong. We all have different views. And the thing is, he brings out some incredibly valid and good points, to be fair. And that's all I can say on that. He does bring out some very valid points.
True. But then again, remember, in tier 7, you have a T29. Still, that thing, for some reason, has both armor, gun depression, turret armor, gun. Only thing that is missing is mobility.
Yeah,
And
T29.
remember, it has also the consumables.
It is fun, Rib. It is fun. I do like the tank. Don't get me wrong. I do like the tank a lot. I think it's a barrel of laughs. I really do. And I can see that a lot of people will say it is broken or OP, and I get that as well. It's just I'm always very reluctant, however, to say a tank is OP, or unless of course I'm talking about the Keniotsu, which is broken. It is actually broken.
Did they fix it or?
No, they never will. They never will. It will never be fixed.
Oh yeah, because.
Afternoon, Shal. How you doing, mate? Before you ask, Shal, I saw your comment as well, and I am going to answer that also. I just haven't got round to it yet. That's all. But I will answer. I will answer. So. But yeah, I mean, no, you're right. It can be hard for the enemies, especially if you're up close and personal. If you're face hugging, then the enemies will find it a struggle to pen you. And I did that against a Smasher, and the Smasher struggled to pen me, which is why I said it can hold its own against a Smasher, and it really, really can. But on the flip side, I really struggled against E75 TSs. Really, really struggled. Even with APCR, I just couldn't pen it unless he was showing his bottom plate, unless I could get around the side of him. Where the E75 had no problems penning me at all.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
But yeah.
Hello.
Must be Vanilla.
Yes.
There you go. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I understand where everybody's coming from on it. And this is what I'm saying. I mean, everybody's view is going to be slightly different, and I get that, and I understand that.
To be fair, only thing I kind of dislike about the tank when I decide to grind another line and I need to go through a stock tier 7 and then see an annihilator. Oh boy, then it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Other than that, if I have anything else.
Yeah, just going to answer Shao Magnet. Yeah, that's true, but I mean, this thing.
That's true.
This thing, Shao. At the end of the day, I mean, the in the Annihilator, literally the whole E70, all of it is red. It's a big, just red tomato, and you flick on the APCR, and it doesn't change a bit. Just doesn't change anything.
Not even HE.
HE doesn't change. It's just everything just red. It's just annoying, man.
I mean, at least let us splash the T75, E75 TS. At least do that.
Yeah. I mean, if I was in a smasher, for example, then an E75, I'd just load the HE and go, okay, take some of that, and it will get something out of it, at least 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with this thing, it's a bit different. It's a bit different.
Yeah, that's why I sometimes splash the Super Conqueror's turret or the Kramwagen's turret with HE, because I can't penetrate with any shell, so I'm going to splash you to do some damage at least, to kind of ruffle your feathers.
No, I get that, Rip. And in fairness, I did say, whilst I say it's not OP, it is powerful, and it is. The gun is powerful. And I was trying to sort of draw a line here by saying, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it's OP. I never once said it wasn't broken or was broken. I was very careful with my wording. And I did say that the gun is very, very powerful. It's a powerful tank. But would I say it was overpowered? It's very difficult for me to say it's overpowered, if you know what I mean. It's powerful. It is a powerful tank, but it does have its downsides as well. And I understand the point you're making there, that yes, to an extent, yes, we're both influencers. I get that, and I understand that, which is why I try to use my wording carefully on this one, by not saying it was broken or not broken. Did I say it was a good tank? Yes, I did. It is a good tank. Did I say that is it worth it to get the Pyrolium trailer? Then yes, it is worth it. Would my choice of words be different if I was talking about the game and the impact it has on the game? Yes, it probably would. Which is why, towards the latter part of my video on it, I said a lot of people don't like the fantasy tanks, such as the Smasher, the Lycan, etc., etc. And one of the reasons why I particularly sang the praises of this tank is because it can stand up against a Smasher, which a lot of people in the community, especially recently, have been moaning about the Smasher. Now we all know the Smasher. You all know the Smasher's upsides rather than their downsides, and we all know that the Smasher is what it is. And to have a tier 7
of the Smashers.
Yeah, but to have a tier 7 tank that can actually challenge a Smasher isn't necessarily a bad thing. Is it right that we have to pay for it? Well, that's a different argument for a different day. So, but I get your point. And maybe another video on, is this advantageous for the game, which is one of the reasons where you're coming from, should be looked into by me as well. And I'll take that on board. Thanks, Rib. Sorry, what was somebody saying? Somebody was saying something.
I don't fucking know.
Amelia, there you are. You're still there then. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, has anybody, just out of interest, anybody in Discord got this Annihilator?
Oh, no, I haven't
Not
played
me.
the game since.
On my way to it.
Free to play, never gonna have it.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, Shao, it to be fair, the Annihilator does struggle a little bit against a Tiger 1. It doesn't struggle if you're sticking APCR, however, different kettle of fish. But it will struggle to pen frontally some parts of the Tiger 1. Not the bottom plate, it'll go through the bottom plate easily like butter.
Fugit.
Yes.
Did I mention that it's tier 7? That tier is filled with tanks that range from being almost useless to broken pieces of crap that can rival tier 8s. And yet, you always forget, if you ever have any problems with any fantasy tanks, there's a T29. Take it and just fight anything.
Yeah, but you say that, and
Advice.
Rib does make a good point. I mean, this thing can slice through a T29 with ease, to be fair.
Yeah, cool
It can.
down.
It
And
can.
plus to activate the damage reduction thingy.
Yeah, I mean, it can slice through a T29 with particular ease. Turret-wise, no, it won't, but yeah, it'll it'll go through its bottom plate and its hull quite easily without a problem. So yeah, I mean, he did mention that, and it is a valid point. But you're right. I mean, there is a T29. The T29 is a good tank, but you know, it's you know, in tier 7. Well, tier 7 is tier 7. It is what it is. It's not as bad as tier 8.
No, I still consider tier 8 far better tier because at least there aren't that many fantasy boys, defenders, cough.
I mean, you say that. I mean, tier 8 is by far the tier I would avoid more than anything else. Mainly because it's just filled with premium tanks, primarily.
Yeah, it's
And-
mostly E75s, objects, Progettos, Chimeras. And
Yeah, it's you know. So I mean, tier 8 is a tier I don't particularly like. Tier 7 I don't mind. I actually don't. I mean, I think there's some great tier 7 tanks. For example, I love the T71. I think it's fantastic. I love that tank. I think it's brilliant. It's an under recognized tank as the T71.
If it's like it's unless the pedophiles in the SU-152 or Smasher don't see you, it's a good tank. Agreed.
No, I think it's a great tank. It's got fantastic ability. It does have the ability to bounce, and it's got a really nice gun. And I think the T71 is a tank that is underestimated.
Like, pick.
The SP1C is another nice tank, but it's tricky to play. The SP1C is tricky to play. Well, depending on what gun you've got loaded. I mean, if you've got the auto loader, then it becomes slightly tricky. And again, Spicy Win, you're right. The M41
Yeah,
Bulldog, beautiful tank. The Bulldog is a beautiful tank.
But keep in mind, you're a light tank in a tier where the super heavies start to become a thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
I mean, in that tier, you've got the Tiger 1, the Tiger P. Again, these are nice tanks, and I understand where Shao's coming from. Where yes, the Tiger 1 was buffed, and it was buffed to the point whereby it's now much better than the Tiger P. And in real life, the Tiger P was better than the Tiger 1. The only reason they didn't go ahead with the Tiger P is because it had a complex engine and suspension
Bus
system.
driver.
No,
Bus
just had
engine, and it was breaking up.
that's because it had a complex engine and system. But it was better. It was better in a lot of respects to the Tiger.
It has more armor.
Yeah, it does. It does. Whereas now the Tiger 1 is, I would say, marginally better than the Tiger P. Since it's buff.
Yeah.
But,
We need more love for Tiger P.
you know,
We need more love for medium satellites for the tier 7 and 8.
And yeah, medium tanks.
They just have terrible
Yes, you have
penetration.
DPM, but
Terrible penetration.
yeah,
That needs to be
but the
buffed.
thing is, if they do that, doesn't that undo the buffs that they've just done? Because the buffs they've
No.
just done... Well, hang on.
No.
Wasn't one of the reasons why they've done the HP buff is to move the game away from being heavily medium dominated?
But it's never been the case with tier 7 and 8 anyway.
I'm not tier 7 and 8, I agree. It's never the case for that tier. I agree with that.
Yeah, but then they buff tanks, the heavies in tier 7 and 8, which should be the case.
yeah. Like, in tier 7 there wasn't that much of an imbalance of heavies
Yeah,
and
yeah.
medium tanks
Mhm.
because you have a tiger that's basically a fat medium. You can drive around and catch the mediums, and to be fair, since the heavy tank buff, I just feel almost invincible when I'm playing
Yeah.
heavies there.
No, I'm not talking about the hit point buff. I'm talking about the armor buff for the heavy tanks in
And
tier
also
7 and 8.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't know why they have to do that. I mean, and it just makes it very difficult for mediums to play in that tier.
Mm.
And
No,
tier 8,
that's true.
and tier 8 also mediums struggle quite a bit. In tier 9, not really, but
Tier
tier
9 not really,
7
tier
and 8, yes.
They struggle a lot. Even the premiums as well. I would say Type 59, T54 Mod 1 does struggle a bit in tier 8.
But
Yeah.
remember, Type 59 and T54 didn't get a buff in what a long time.
Oh, you're not. They're all reload. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And remember, every modern tier 8 nowadays has more over 210 or 200 or more penetration on standard ammunition, while the Russian mediums still have 170 something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is just horrible. Just Morgan
And
needs to
sad.
stop the penetration. Yeah. Sad as well. I mean,
All
They
right,
just-
Leffy. Have a good weekend. Sorry.
And on
carry
the other side, you have Object 252 use with almost 2k HP. Have fun.
yeah.
Well, this is why I have a problem with Tier 8, because you get into Tier 8 and you've got things like the Action X, the 252U, the Chimera, the Defender Mark 1, the E75TS, the list is endless.
I still don't understand why did the Wargaming put an E75TS in a semi-easy event to get. That's still, my brain cannot comprehend
No idea.
why.
No idea, but they did.
Because that thing, you take Tiger 2 and add some space armor and a bit better, and you're a better tank for side scraping, and you even have better DPM for a small cost of mobility. Why? I understand when they did that, almost the similar thing with the M6 experimental, but the M6 experimental has so many weak spots that it kind of balances out. Or a T-34 free. That tank, unless you're kind of semi-sneaky, or you're not gonna dish out damage. But T-75, basically an improved Uwe. Why? I still don't understand.
Yeah.
My brain hurts every time when I think about it. But I'm happy, and I now have it in garage, so.
Oh, besides also buff stock tanks, it's just unimaginable. Like stock tanks are much worse than the lower tier counterpart fully upgraded. That just doesn't make sense. They need to buff stock tanks.
To be either reduce the amount of EXP every module.
No,
Or-
I don't think. I think it's fine. The EXP is fine. It's just that the stock modules are just so horribly bad that it's just that you just want to put that tank into a lower tier and it will still not perform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the stock modules is a strange one, to be fair, because you should be going into the
I
next
agree on
tank.
this.
You should be going into the next tank. So if you've got all the top modules on the tier 7, for example, when you get the tier 8, the stock version is basically the better. Just the gun should be yeah, it should. The gun should be the top gun you had on the tier 7. It should be.
Few minutes.
There should be a
You shouldn't be rolling out in a tier higher with a tank that's less effective, so to speak. With certain things.
For example, you have the tier 7 fully upgraded tank, and then you go into tier 8, and then that stock tank there, it's just worse, much worse than
the tier 7. Exactly, it shouldn't be that. It should now because you should be. I mean, the main thing that should be changing in the tiers like
Yeah.
in normal terms, if it was a real tank, okay, then okay, maybe you'd have the same hull, and you'd have with better armor, you know, because that's normally what happens, and probably a better engine. But the gun is normally in the prototypes. It's normally the gun from the previous tank. And normally it's the same turret. Okay. Now, when they then change the turret, they generally change the turret either to do one of two things: either A, to increase the armor, or B, to stick a bigger gun in. That's why they do it. So if you've got the top gun on the tier 6 or tier 7 and you get the tier 8, by default you should not have a worse gun. you shouldn't, because you've already researched it for the tier 7.
But Fugit, you know that certain modules, when you research them, aka the gun or the I think engine, in most cases, they do go over to another tanks.
Some do, but
some
not some do, but some don't. Some do,
Yeah.
but some don't. To be honest with you,
I can remember, and I agree.
I mean, take the
P44
E50.
Pantera. P44 Pantera. That stock gun, almost atrocious. Or
Yeah.
WZ121. No, the 120. The medium.
I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't work that way. That's the thing.
Yeah. M46 pattern, just that shotgun is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, let's see if I can find one. I used to know a few of them. Let's see if I can find one. Let's go down here. So
Yeah.
here we go. So Panther 2, okay. Top gun on the Panther 2 is the 88 KWK 43L1. Okay. Now that's the stock gun in the E50. That's the stock gun in the E50. But it's not.
Oh yeah.
But it's not. I don't think. Let me just check that again. No, it's
Yeah, I
not.
remember.
Because it's the HAL 71 in the Panther 2, and they give you the HAL 100 in the E50. So in the HAL 72, the armor piercing is, the damage is 220, 190. The stock gun is lower. The stock gun on the E50 is lower. Because the top gun on the E50 is the one you've got in the Panther 2 that you've already researched. So you get a shittier gun in the E50, I think. I think you'll find. Yeah.
But yeah, keep in mind most tier 9 medium tanks have atrocious grinds. Except I think the 54.
No, I think it's the other way around. Like usually the heavy grinds are much more painful than the medium.
I have
from my
mediums,
experience.
much worse experience with mediums.
I don't know, because the
yeah,
heavies
There
usually
were some
the guns are,
heavies.
the guns are much less accurate, and they're much slower, which is a recipe for disaster.
But yeah, when I play mediums, I just hope it
Well, the
has some
PTA is
ability.
okay.
But yeah, on some stocks they're so slow.
Well, some
But
stocks
I
are bad. Some stocks are bad, and some stocks you just can't wait to basically get out of there.
Yeah, and I think Wargaming needs to change that. I mean, well,
Possibly.
I know it's not. I think I know that it's going to give them less income, but then you cannot always use the excuse of what that will bring us less income and then not do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
player experience is not important.
Yeah, it swings in roundabouts. Swings in roundabouts. Anyway, we've been going for what, an hour and a half. Is there anything else, guys? Or I'm thinking of wrapping it up there. We've talked about a lot again today. Mainly the event, which was the idea.
3 weeks until the Blitz Cup.
Yeah, still quite a long time. Unless you're in Asia, where Maddox hasn't got 3 weeks.
No, 3 weeks. It's actually 3 weeks until the.
Oh, it's
first
3
Blitz
weeks
Cup.
until Asia, and it's like 4 weeks until EU, and
So
almost
our
5
EU.
weeks until NA, I believe.
No,
So-
5 weeks until the EU, 6 weeks until the.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So all change. Anyway,
But still,
we still don't know the maps.
congrats.
you know the maps.
We don't know the maps.
Oh, you still don't know the maps. Wow.
I don't know,
Mm, wow.
Yay!
but I believe it's
Still-
going to be the same. I don't think they're going to change
No,
anything.
like, but what are the maps we're gonna be playing on the first matchup? We don't even know, right?
Yeah. we
No,
don't know.
no, not yet. Not
That
yet.
should have been out ages ago, not wait another few weeks and then do that, right?
Yeah, still don't know yet. That's a good point. But,
Oh yeah. Also, congrats Fugit on becoming the main streamer for tournaments.
Oh, I'm not. There are many of us. It's not just me.
Yeah.
It just came out that way in the stream, but no, that's not strictly true. So I mean, it seems to be public knowledge now, so I might as well say, myself and Amunet will be the main commentators for the main event on EU. But every good name is taken. Wild Ones Harper, Rib will still be streaming. There will still be games being streamed by them. It just won't be the official Wargaming one, okay? On their site, on their stream.
Yeah.
On Asia, Jack and Amunet are the main commentators, not me. I will still be streaming Asia, but it will be Jack and Amunet doing Asia for the official main one.
They're doing it together or what?
They'll be
Separate
doing it together, yes.
Commentate. Commentary.
Joint commentary on the official Wargaming World of Tanks Blitz streams.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We actually
Yeah.
going on the stream? Actually going on the official? Okay.
Yes, yes.
That never happens. That never happens.
North America, I don't know as yet, but again, there'll still be the streamers. So
Probably Druidus and who else?
no idea at the moment, and I don't know about RU either. So it may have come across that way in the Wargaming stream, but no, that's not strictly true. I'm not the main streamer at all, or even close. We're all still collaborating together, all of us.
Yeah.
So it's still, I mean, the most experienced, and I would say, the top streamer at the moment, officially would probably be Amunet. Rib is doing his German streams, which generates a massive audience because he's got a huge audience there. Every Wild Ones Helper and myself are doing EU as well. So, and then on Asia, you've got myself in Wild Ones Helper, along with Eternal Shinzan, who does it in Japanese, and I always get his name wrong,
Jiangkun.
Jiangkun, there you go, who does it in Chinese. And then on North America... Mandarin, sorry, yes. And then in North America, on the NA server, you've got, obviously, Droodles and Fishy, and myself, who are the English commentators. And then you did have, I haven't seen him for a while, but there used to be Ainia, and there's still Papa Rage, who does it in Espanol.
Which is pretty popular as well.
It's very popular. There's a lot of Spanish speakers on the North American server, obviously.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not the main streamer, and I'm certainly not the main commentator. It sounded that way, but it's not the case. Not the case at all. Far from it. But thank you anyway. So no, it's not. Like I said, I would still say that probably the main streamer at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, is still Amunet.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change.
No, I mean, she's been doing it for ages. She's got the experience, she's got the knowledge, and I'm lucky to be asked to join her in jointly commentating EU this year. But no, it wasn't a case of they asked me, then asked Amunet. They had Amunet, and then they pondered who to ask next. That was all. So no, it's like I said, it may have come out that way, but that was not. That's not the intention. I guess it was lost in translation.
It could have been just Amunet anyway. Just only Amunet as a lone commentator.
Yeah, absolutely. So no. I mean, thank you anyway, but no, it's not the case. But it's nice that you thought that.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. But
No,
no,
this was more of a-
I'm glad you asked that because you're right. It deserved a clarification. To be fair, it did deserve a clarification because it wasn't strictly correct.
No, this went more of a. Oh, but sorry, son.
No, I'm just glad that we've still got so many streamers.
Oh yeah. And I hope Wargaming is not going to do anything bad towards tier 10 because I just only started. I hope it's not going to be ruined.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm glad that now there's a lot of streamers because there never used to be so many streamers, and then there would be struggles to get coverage. Where now it's very rare to struggle to get coverage. So it would be lovely to turn around and say, "Yeah, I'm the main commentator," but I'm not. It really is all of us. We all put a lot of hard work into it, and it's not just me. If you watch one of Wild One's Halper streams, God, he puts us all to shame. The amount of stuff he does. He's got stats and things coming through the yin yang. And then, I mean, if I spoke German, no doubt. I mean, Rib has got a huge following, absolutely huge following. When Rib streams the tournaments, and primarily he focuses on Raid, because obviously Raid is a German-speaking team. They're not primarily German. I mean, they're Swiss German, I believe. But and he has a huge following, massive following, more viewers than I could ever hope for, to be fair. So. And then you've got Every Good Name Is Taken, who knows how to play the tanks from a technical viewpoint, and you've got Aminette, who's so laid back you would think that she's got a mattress tied to her back. So all the streamers do a lot of hard work. So yeah, they all deserve recognition. To be fair, not just me.
But I think this is one of the bigger wargaming propaganda that I've fallen for.
No, I don't think it was propaganda. I think it was just a mistake on their part. I think it was just lost in translation. That was all. I don't think they meant to I don't think they meant to mislead. I don't think they meant to, disrespect anybody. I just think they meant to, collectively. Then yes, I'm one of the main streamers, but collectively, I'm not the only one. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were trying to mean as well. Because there aren't many streamers. There's as I said, there's 3 in America, there's 3 on NA, there's 5 on EU, and there's 4 on there's 3 on Asia, not including me, there's 3 on Asia, there's 4 on EU, and there's 3 on NA. So collectively, yes, I'm one of the main streamers because there aren't many of us. There aren't many streamers. So collectively, I'm one of the many. But no, I'm not the main one singularly. Basically. So, but I don't think they meant to mislead or anything. That was never their intention. It's just that I was the only one there. So, had all the other streamers been in the same stream, then they would have said, "Oh, you guys are the main streamers for the tournaments," and that would have been correct as well. So yeah, that's what I think they meant. Collectively, one of the main streamers, not the only one. one of many.
I did say one of many. One of the main.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of many. So yeah. But I mean, to be fair, it took both myself and Aminette by surprise because I didn't know that was knowledge yet, but it seems to be public knowledge now. So, but it took us both by surprise. We were like, "What? I didn't expect that."
I didn't expect them to announce in that stream, to be honest.
No, but it's out now, so what can you do, eh? What can you do? So. But anyway, I'm going to end the stream there on that point. But thank you anyway, guys. Oh, you wanted to say something, Jack?
Oh, test stream tonight for me. So I'm trying my new mic in a tournament. So, just trying it out for I will be streaming tonight. So just to test whether my
what
mic
tournament?
is doing
What tournament?
Not just the coin stream, the season coin stream. So just kind of testing my mic out.
Okay.
So, you
okay.
know.
Might pop in and say hello, along with
Yeah,
everybody
I'll be
else who's out there.
I'll be following the troll team.
Okay, nice.
There we go. So hopefully I'll see you there. Just tell me whether the mic is working or not. Because I kind of tweak a lot with my mic, applied a lot of filters to make it sound good and less annoying. So hopefully it's going to be fine.
I'm not going to end the stream just yet because Neil Bates has just asked a question. And while I've got you on the stream, he says, what are your opinions on the reporting in Blitz? I report a lot of people for abusive language, but nothing happens. But when I say easy and someone reports me, I get done for abusive language. Well, I'll be honest with you. Personally, I think the MH, military honour, and reporting is poor and really needs to be relooked at.
Oh, especially when you cannot manually tweak that.
Yeah.
That is a main problem.
Yeah, now, you're sort of in a catch-22. You'll never know if your report has been acted on because they'll never tell you, because they'll say data protection. So you'll never know if it's been acted on or not. But I do know a lot.
It's let's say in the game that the kind of the report is successful, something like that, but then doesn't mention who.
Correct.
Who
doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So you could report like 50 people. You could report like quite a few people in the day, and they'll just say a report. Action has been taken. But you'll never know what the action is, and you'll never know who it's against because of data protection rules. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people do get chat banned, to be honest with you, and you have to look at it from this point of view. The way that it's not if you think it's abusive, it's if the other person thinks it's abusive. And I'll be honest with you, saying easy in a game, a lot of people think is abusive because they think it's disrespectful. And a lot of people who saying easy riles a lot of players, to be honest with you. It does get on a lot of people's nerves, and a lot of people will downvote you for saying that. It's not as bad as saying some words that I've seen, beginning with C and ending in uka, or beginning with bli and ending in bliat. But yeah, I mean they do. It does suck. I don't like the MH system, and I don't like the reporting system, to be fair. I think they need to revise it considerably. It's open to abuse, simple as that. Somebody may not like you, and they can report you, and I don't agree with that.
Just go with unsupported conduct, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I generally don't type much in the chat anymore, but I'll scream and shout at myself. So yeah, Xandar Gaming, in easy is cringe. So be careful, Neil, because a lot of people do get very upset when somebody types easy in the game. So yeah, it does happen. But in answer to your question, I hate it. I don't like the reporting system in Blitz. I don't like it. When it comes to MH, reporting system full stop, I think is actually quite good. You can raise reports left, right, and centre via the support team and stuff like that. But
there will be a lot of tickets to solve.
Yeah, exactly. But MH is a bit different. I don't like it. So hello, White Raven. How you doing, mate? We're just about to finish. Hey, no, yeah, you're right there, PT Blitz. People do need to chill a little bit because people do get carried away. So yeah, you need to remember, guys. It's just a game at the end of the day. Rage and scream at yourself. Don't generally put it in the chat. Scream at your iPad, your iPhone, or whatever you're playing it on. Just don't scream it in the chat. You can get into trouble. Simple as that, really. So,
I mean, I was saying sometimes I see some very funny stuff in the chat. Something like, "We're going to lose. It's a loss." And then when we won that game in the end, I say we lost.
Absolutely. well, I mean, in my Annihilator video earlier, I don't know if you saw it all the way through, but there's a game I do on Yukon where it's me against two tanks at the end, and one of my team is just abusing me all the way through to the end. I'm a noob, I'm an idiot, I'm a moron, I should be reported, blah blah blah. And I carry the team in win for them. So it's better sometimes just to shut up.
Report.
Yeah, I mean, even I got abused today. When we were playing like burning game. When me and my anime playing burning games today, we were just like fooling around and just only do healing.
Yeah.
Medium tank. Like, and we got called out just by doing that.
Yeah, it's
Even though, yeah,
crazy.
we lost, like, it's fun.
It is crazy. But yeah, you have to be. You know, it's sometimes it's better to just shut up because it can backfire massively. I've seen games like that.
You can report you for provocative communication.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this is why I find it funny. I mean, I remember once I was in one battle, and this one guy was just ripping into this one of the guys on my team, literally just ripping into it massively. And the guy went on and got, I think he got 5 kills, a mastery, and a Kolobanov. So, you know, it's just better to just be quiet sometimes. So, yeah. Just rage it yourself. Don't rage in chat. Seriously. You know, call people whatever you want to call them, in the sanctuary of your own home. don't put it in the chat.
And learn some British insults.
Yeah. Learn some British insults. You know, call them a donkey or something. It just sort of.
Wanker.
No, wanker's now universally known. I mean, call them a donkey or a plonker. Yeah, call them a plonker. Yeah. Or call them pond life or whatever. Call them. Be inventive. Don't be abusive. Just be inventive.
The Barbie army.
I remember once when I was watching one player who was completely clueless, and everybody was calling him a noob and a horrible abuse, and I just said, calm it down. It's just a waste of blood and organs. Just be inventive. Don't be personal. Don't be nasty. Is what I would say.
Be imaginative.
Yeah. I mean, the game will run. I said in one of my recent videos about the pros of the game. It will run every single emotion you've got. It will frustrate you to high heaven, and it will bring out the worst in you at the best of times. But at the end of the day, as long as you're just screaming in the sanctuary of your own home, so the only people who can hear you are either your loved ones or your family or your parents or whatever, then it doesn't matter. But if you start putting it in the chat, then yeah, you can get into trouble, guys. So try not to. Use the chat for what it's meant to be used for, which is basically communicating with your team, not abusing them, just communicating with them, telling them where you're going or telling them what you think they should be doing if things are happening. Try not to be abusive. It's not worth it, honestly. I know people who've had really big chat bans, and I'm talking months, so it's not worth it.
And there was even permanent chat bans I know of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's permanent chat bans, and it's really not worth it.
So far, I've known that 2 players in Asia have been permanently chat banned.
Yeah.
Is it one of them starting with the letter Y?
Yes,
Mm.
that's one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can seriously get into trouble for saying things in chat. You really can. And wargaming, when there has been a serious rules violation, they do come down hard. They really do. So be careful, guys. Really. Anyway, that is it now. Oh, Kafuf was asked me a question. Yeah, I think chat ban, you should still be able to use the command. I mean, I've never had a chat ban, to be honest with you. I mean, despite what you see on my streams, because I generally just rage at myself and I rage at players in the sanctuary of my own home. I generally don't rage at players in the game, which is why you'll see my history is I've only ever had 4 provocative communication complaints in the whole of my history, and I'm putting it on the screen now.
100.
Yeah, but you're nice. So there's nothing you can do about that. So I've had 4 provocative communications. So even though sometimes it looks like I'm being, pretty abusive on the streams. I'm not putting it in the chat. That's the difference. So I don't abuse the players in the game. I just don't do that.
Send the support a ticket with the evidence of the stream.
That's different. But on the flip side, I've only ever had 52 upvotes for being a sociable player.
Well, nobody really. Well, nobody would
social-
ever do that, really.
No, it's kind of an insult in some sense, actually.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because-
It's not really an insult. Lucky player is the biggest insult, but like social.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, lucky player really is. But and I've got one for a missed tournament, which I didn't miss. It was Wargaming cancelled it. But once they're on, they can't take them off. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Once they're in there, they can't be taken away. So, but as you can see, I've never had a penalty. So
Not
yeah,
like Bruno Fernandes.
so just be careful, guys. But like I said, rage all you want in the sanctuary of your own house, but don't rage in the chat. It's not worth it, really. It really isn't. Anyway, right, and with that, I really am going to end the stream now.
Do it.
People
So, thank you everybody on YouTube for popping in. Thank you for everybody in Discord. It was really, really nice of you to join me. Again, this is another coffee chat. I've been Fugit, and that has been you lot on YouTube have been great, and you lot on Discord have been just as great. And until next time, guys. Jack, aka a Wild One's helper, is I was about to say it, is streaming tonight, checking out his new mic. So go and catch him, go and say hello, show him some love, and give him a thumbs up.
What are you going to stream, Jack?
Tournament stream. I'm following the trophy.
What?
Yeah, tournament stream. So it's going to be a season coin stream. But I'm doing the tournament, trying to test out the new mic, especially when I kind of shout during the tournaments. Hopefully, it's going to compress it a bit. So that's kind of one of the main things that I want to try tonight. So I might shout during the tournaments a bit. So we'll see.
Anyway,
see if it's going to go exceptionally loud.
Yeah, go and give him some love. And until then, guys. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.